And now, live from Pod Cabin in Burbank, California, it's the Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Tonight, Alison welcomes her guests. She's an actress and comedian you know from Young Sheldon, Big Little Lies, and The Kaminsky Method. It's Sarah Baker. And she's a writer, producer, and the inventor of a new kind of rape whistle for women who find themselves trapped in a room full of fancy card shufflers. It's Wendy Molyneux. Tone Zone is here to deny rumors that Taylor Swift's new single, We're Never Ever Wearing a Robe Together, is about him. I'm her husband, Daniel, saying hop on board the Love Bus and say hello to your new best friend, Alison Rosen.
Alison Rosen. Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Alison with her good times never end. Alison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Allison's your new best friend.
Hello, my little Bucatini. Welcome to another exciting episode of Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. That particular carbohydrate was sent in on Patreon. By Megan Taylor. All sorts of fun stuff on Patreon. We got bonus episodes of The Friend Zone. Daniel and I just recorded an episode together. We answered your questions, and then we had a cameo by Elliot. There's a level where you can text me, and I'll text you back. You can see videos of the Thursday show. You can submit carbs for the guests, and you can submit questions for the Monday show guests. All sorts of fun stuff. Patreon.com/Alison Rosen. And if you sign up for an annual subscription, you get 2 months free. So it's 12 months for the price of 10.
That's a good deal.
Very excited to welcome the guests to the show. But first, I just have to make one more announcement, which is please check out and subscribe to my new podcast, Upworthy Weekly. It comes out on Saturdays. It is a lighthearted look at the most engaging and popular stories from the week before that were on Upworthy.com. I co-host it with Todd Perry, who is a very fun guy with terrible taste in Christmas music, I have found out. So please check that out. I'm very excited about it. Upworthy Weekly. Okay. Very excited for this group of guests. Sarah Baker, hello. Welcome. First time on the show.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
It's exciting to see you again. I used to see you at the beginning of the pandemic, and we will get into that. Wendy Molyneux, welcome back.
Hi. Hello.
Your haircut looks great. I know that you were saying you hate getting your hair done, but man, they did a wonderful job.
Guess what? I haven't had it done, Alison.
Wait, what? Oh my God.
I'll tell you why. It's been a whole saga. Thank you. I took a shower today because I knew I would be appearing on camera. So it's clean. It's clean. And then I put it in a bun all day so that it would, you guys both have cascading locks. If you're not a Patreon member, you should become one just to see Alison and Sarah's absolutely cascading locks. I can't grow my hair that long. I'm riddled with jealousy. But I thought if I put it in a bun and then took it out, it would have some volume, which it does. But it's been a whole saga. And I can tell you every reason for the last 3 to 4 weekends now, I have not been able to go. Because last time I was on the show, which must have been about a month ago.
Yeah.
I was about to go. Lots of things happened since then.
Okay. I need to know. Oh, yeah. Well, I've been meaning to talk to you. I know something. We're going to get to that. Mm-hmm. Daniel Quantz, hello.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. Hello to everybody. Thank you, Wendy, for the new underwear.
Oh.
I forgot about that.
I forgot. Did we do a bit where I gave you underwear?
I think the bit was that I gave Jeff clothing, and in retaliation, you dress as
you were
Lon,
giving me new underwear,
and then you're having an affair.
Oh, yeah. Allison gives Jeff underwear.
Yeah.
And I found that out.
Right.
And so then
you don't
I
have to
dress.
Tell me. I remember.
I know. I dress as your lawn, and I lay in the grass and wait for you to come outside so we can have our affair.
That's right. Well,
and sometimes I find Daniel in a state of arousal looking out the window at the grass, and I wonder what's
a state of arousal.
I have a thing. I
like that I couldn't keep that bit straight.
I have a thing for piles of grass.
Yeah. Don't I know it?
And hello, Tony.
Hello. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's been a busy time. I feel like this is when things start slowing down for everybody, and then this always seems to be when I get busier. So
it does not feel like it's slowing down for me at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the music industry shuts down for 6 weeks or something around now, but the Alison industry is kicking into high gear.
It's booming.
It's booming. Okay.
Popping off.
Yes. Wendy, fill us in. I need to know. Let's just map out what's going to happen here. I need to know what's going on with your husband. I need to know why you haven't gotten your haircut. I need to know whether the pastrami arrived in time for your dad's birthday. And also, I need to know either from you or from Sarah so when someone new comes on the show, I like to find out 3 fun facts about them. True fun facts. And it can either be Sarah can offer them or Wendy can offer them about Sarah. And just to explain, because so Sarah lives in Burbank, and at the beginning of the pandemic, we were going on these family walks and we would bump into Sarah and her fella. But then now, are you still going on the walks? Because we stopped with all that fresh air.
Yeah, we get on like jags where we're going all the time, and I feel like we're off right now. But typically, also this whole sun thing, I like to go like at sundown because I'm a very pale lady, so I don't really like to go when it's like blaring sun.
Yeah.
But then somehow or another, getting it together to go for a walk at like 5 o'clock, just, I don't know, it just doesn't work as well. So I've not been out there as much, but.
Okay. Have you
We made other friends on the walk, by the way.
Wait,
like
what?
Real friends.
Wait, what'd you say?
She just called you not a real friend.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But
Zing,
no.
zing, 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 zing.
No, we already knew of each other, even though we had, I don't know if we'd actually met at like Wendy's.
We met at Wendy's birthday.
Yes.
When she was into escape. I don't know if you're still into escape rooms.
I would be if there was a world.
Yes.
I mean, there is now. I think they are back open, but somehow like a small room with everyone breathing in it. Like literally the whole point is you can't get out of the room. Just still feels
right.
very weird to me right now.
Yeah.
So
Right. So I think we met at her birthday. Wait, but I didn't quite hear you. Did you say you've made real friends on the walk? Because I'm just
Different people that I hadn't previously known, like you guys that I previously.
Right. You mean like new friends as opposed to your great friends, Alison and Daniel.
Exactly. You get it.
This
You
makes
get me.
sense. Did you?
We met random people, like this cute couple that have a baby, and we would see them on our walks, and it was like this surreal world of like, we can't see our actual friends now, but I'm seeing strangers on walks.
Right.
But then they were so cute, and we would see them so frequently that one night, this was pretty early on in quarantine, they like left a card under our mat because they hadn't seen us for a few days, and they thought maybe they've died from COVID or are ill. Isn't that crazy? But also so nice.
But then how did you respond to the card?
I think she left her phone number in there that time.
That's so sweet.
Isn't that?
I mean, go ahead.
Am I too cynical that when someone's that friendly to me, I assume they're trying to like witness me? You know, invite me
witness you. What does that mean?
Oh, like religious.
Like
they're trying to they're trying to like save my soul for Chris. You know, like
yeah. I
get an Amish
to hey, you look like a really cool guy. We're having a barbecue this weekend, and
I guess I feel that would have come out already because we had stood on the sidewalk, on opposite sidewalks, and chatted with each other. So I feel like I would have known if it was a weird cult.
That's so nice, though.
Right.
Yeah. Just a fun fact.
Oh, we already got a fun fact.
Oh, that was a fun fact.
That's a fun fact.
I don't know how fun it was.
It
wasn't very evocative of like my personality or anything.
It's about as fun as it gets on this show.
Okay, good.
Okay, Wendy.
Yes.
Pastrami. You had ordered pastrami for your dad's surprise party.
Guys, it's been a wild time since we last spoke because was that the day of? No, it was, the day before. Okay, so then the next day turns out one of my sisters was flying down. She gets here. She finds out her daughter at home has COVID.
Oh, no.
Yes. So
she's
a happy ending. Everything's fine.
Okay.
So, but my sister then, was triple vaxxed, is with my parents who are older, also triple vaxxed, but also like this. And oh, shoot. You
Yeah.
know, like somebody's in the house with our parents with COVID and it's our sister, but she doesn't have it. Her daughter had it, but her daughter turned out to be the only one who got it. Her other daughter didn't get it. She didn't get it. So it was like, but the party got canceled.
Oh,
The
no.
dinner got canceled because she had to fly back.
Yeah.
Because her daughter had COVID. So it was like, you know, it was wild. So the pastrami did come and we kept it because it was supposed to be a surprise dinner. So what am I going to do? Drive down to my dad's the next day and be like, here's a bunch of pastrami, no reason. That's a very strange thing to do. So we decided to keep it, the box, and eat the food. And then I'll order him another one. Because it's just food. It's like having a bag of groceries, you know, or whatever. So that, and then I didn't get my hair done because I got a text from that lady that Friday saying she had been exposed to COVID at work and she wanted to wait till she could get tested before she had clients in that weekend. And I think she was fine because then she rescheduled for like 2 weeks later. But then my husband had what we thought was going to be a gallbladder emergency surgery that weekend, but then they didn't take it out that weekend. We had to do it this week. He got it done last week on Wednesday. So I still couldn't go because he was out of commission this weekend. So I still have not had my hair done because there's just calamities abounding all around me. Everyone stay away from me.
Do you think it's because you're trying to get your hair done that it set all these balls in motion?
Oh, that's probably the only explanation.
Well, this is,
yeah.
You know, last week I was saying that I haven't heard of anyone sort of near me in like anyone I know knowing of anyone who has COVID right now, which is his first time in a long time that it hasn't been that way. However, then I said that and then Dave Tooney said, oh, my sister has it right now. So I said, well, then I take that back. But now here's you with a couple stories too. I mean, I guess it is on the going to be rising again. I don't know.
Unless we all get boosted, I guess. And the kids have my kids got vaccinated. So that was cool.
Nice.
So pluses and minuses, but everyone in my sister's family is fine.
Good.
So that, in fact, her daughter never even had symptoms. Had they not been randomly testing, they would have never known.
Right. But, and your husband is doing well. You'd think I would know, given the affair that I think I'm having with him. I forget the bit now.
Yeah. You didn't get him any post-surgery underwear.
No.
But yeah, no, he's fine. I guess the gallbladder surgery, I guess, is pretty easy. I mean, it was like 90 minutes. He was in and out.
Does it change anything about his lifestyle going forward? I mean, what does the gallbladder do?
It digests a lot. The reason you start getting gallbladder attacks is if your gallbladder stops being good at processing fat, I guess, and gets stones in it. And then if you eat fatty food, you get these terrible attacks. So he had one. And now I think you have to start by eating less fat. Almost no fat, but then you can add it back in. Your body learns how to do it.
Huh.
Yeah, like my dad had it and he did not change his diet at all. I mean,
right.
In a typical dad way. Like, I don't even think right after. Actually, he was, because he's older, by the time they took it out, he didn't realize he didn't think he was having issues, but it was almost dead in his body.
Yeah.
Oh.
So when they took it out, they said if they had accidentally punctured it or something, he could have died because it would,
gangrenous, right?
Filled
it
his
becomes
body
gangrenous.
with poison.
Oh my God.
Basically. So luckily he didn't, but it took him months to recover. And even though he's older, obviously, he's generally in pretty good shape, but so
wow,
I didn't want to tell Jeff that beforehand, just in case.
It must have been because he was older. Did he also with your dad? They probably had to open him.
No, it was still. I think it was still laparoscopic.
Yeah. Oh wow. Jeff. Honestly, he went into the surgery at 4:30. And you have to leave. They don't have somewhere for you to wait now. So I could be with him up until the surgery, but then when they're in, they don't want you loitering. Yeah. So I literally went to a diner and ate dinner. So I was like, I don't know what to do. And it was dinner time. So I was like, I'm going to go to the diner and eat dinner. So I sat outside of the diner and ate dinner. And then I think literally an hour and 20 minutes later, they called. I barely had time to he really interrupted my meal. But I was just finishing and my phone rang and I was like, hi. And they're like, he's fine. He's done. You can come back. And he got to go home the same night. We were home by 10 p.m. It was wild. Absolutely wild. Modern medicine.
I think that's how it was I had my appendix out, which is similar just in that it's laparoscopic. And I was the same thing. I had gone into the emergency room the night before. So I did end up being there a while. But then once they did the surgery, I think I was gone a few hours later.
Sarah, to realize you needed your appendix out, were you having like crazy pain?
Yeah, but it was confusing because I thought I was having like stomach problems. Like my stomach didn't feel well. And it was right before, I don't need to get into the whole long story, but it was like right before basically I was graduating from this like kind of improv program or whatever at the Groundlings. And so I was not treating my body well right at that period. But anyway, I just kind of stopped eating. And then I realized like I haven't eaten in like a day and a half because I'm scared to eat because it doesn't feel well. And so I finally went to the doctor and then they were like, oh yeah, you need to get your appendix out.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And Wendy, with Jeff, the pain that he was having that took him to the ER, what did he think was going on?
No, here's what happened. Because this is so boring. If you like to be bored, tune into Wendy. He had gallbladder issues like 2 to 3 years ago.
Okay.
And they said, well, eventually you'll have to have this out because but what he did was like change his diet. He reduced the amount of fat he ate and red meat and stuff like that. And he didn't have any attacks for years. And then the Wednesday before he thought he was going to have the emergency stuff, or no, like it was like, okay, so like, I don't know, someday he had another gallbladder attack. A few days later, he went to the doctor. They did a blood panel and his liver numbers were bonkers. They were like, go to the ER. Something is very wrong. They thought there was like a gallstone had gotten loose and trapped somewhere. And that apparently can make the numbers go crazy. But when he was there, and he was there like Friday all night into Saturday, they did a bunch of tests, scans, et cetera. They don't see this, but they realized like, oh, it was there. It went on through. Oh. So then he wasn't in any pain. They kept going like, what's your pain level? He's like, I'm not in any pain. I had some blood work that they said, blah, blah, blah. So like, eventually by the time it was all done and they let him go home, they were like, you need to have this surgery, but it's no longer an emergency. We'll schedule you to come back on Wednesday.
Got it.
So that's what happened. So
okay.
Yeah, but if you do have gallstones, it is coming out eventually, apparently. So like you might as well do it sooner than later is what we learned.
And so then did he have pain when it went through his pee-pee hole?
I don't think it goes through your pee-pee hole.
No.
I think it goes out of your bottom.
Oh.
Probably. Right? Because it's like digestive.
A kidney stone goes out.
Kidney stones.
Gallstones don't ever come out unless you take the gallbladder out.
But this one, they can move out of the gallbladder. That's what had happened. It went out of the gallbladder somehow and went somewhere. But that's how it go? I don't know. I'm guessing.
I bet it just dissolves.
I don't know.
Or
it dissolves
in your stomach and dissolves in your stomach acid.
Oh, that's probably true.
If that's true, but that's what I'm saying.
But they can move out, and that's what can create an emergency. That's why he was in the ER.
Like stuck in the duct or something.
Stuck somewhere near your liver or something like that.
Right.
I don't know.
Biliary
it comes out your eye. I don't know what happens. But like he's fine. The upshot is he's fine, but I learned a lot about gallbladders.
I love that this story started with pastrami, by the way. It's like, I don't know what happened, but for some reason.
Well, it wasn't even the pastrami. He had barbecue. That's what it was. He had barbecue. We haven't eaten the pastrami. It's in the freezer.
Oh, darn it.
This is possibly the most medical show we've ever done.
Yeah.
And I recently had very minor surgery, but I hadn't given any update on the show, although it's the kind and so it's going to be medical for like 2 more minutes, but it's the kind of thing where it's so minor and it's so like, who cares, that I feel like, do I really need to update? Do I need to give an update? Except that people have had some questions. So just real fast. And it's had to have a hysteroscopy, which is where an operative hysteroscopy, which is where they put a camera inside your uterus, look around, and then take out anything that's not supposed to be there. And so I had thickened lining, and they were a little bit worried. The chances of it being anything worrisome were very low, but worrisome enough that I was a little bit worried. But I think whenever there's like the possibility of this could be cancer, then it's worrisome. But thankfully it was just nothing worrisome, just thickened endometrium, and there's various theories about why that's happening. But so the questions were, did you get Versed? Did you get to enjoy the Versed? Because I've talked about Versed being just my favorite experience in the world. I forgot to tell them that, can you let me know when you give it to me? So I did get to enjoy it for like a second, but they wheeled me into the OR, and then the anesthesiologist said to me, how are you enjoying that cocktail? I love that they love to call it a cocktail.
They do. They did that with Jeff too.
I love that. Like, as if a layperson, like the only way I'll possibly understand what it is you're giving me is if you put it in, you know, like fun recreational terms. But anyway, I said, oh, I didn't realize you gave it to me. And then I didn't realize you had given it to me yet. And at some point they all started laughing. So I realized like, oh, I do feel like I'm melting. So I think that I must have just only said half of the sentence or like been really slurry or something. So anyway, but all in all, a very good experience. I didn't love that. And I should have realized, like you were saying, Wendy, because of COVID, Daniel couldn't stay. They didn't even want him to stay with me beforehand. So
I had just called ahead and told them to tell you that.
Well, it was convincing. But here, since we've talked about medical situations and weight and all that stuff, I will say, so I had my pre-op appointment, and then I had my surgery, and then I had my post-op. And for the pre-op, they weighed me. When I went to go have surgery, they weighed me. And then I was thinking the post-op, and by the way, the pre-op was just a conversation. Like, I feel like that could have been done on the phone. And then the post-op, also just a conversation. And I was thinking when I was headed there, I'm like, they can't possibly plan on weighing me again. It is 2 weeks later. And also, like, we're just having a conversation. Anyway, we get there, and she's like, as she's taking me back, could you step on the scale? And I said, is this my post? Like, do you really need to? And she's like, every appointment. So I got on the scale, but I just don't understand why it has to be what
type of doctor?
A gynecologist.
No, you don't have to. You can say no. I decline.
I know. I was thinking of saying, could you just write down patient declined? In the same
you
way.
Can. You have every right.
Yeah, it's weird because when I hear of other people, like my parents were out somewhere before they were all the way vaxxed, and there were people when they were getting their vax or their second vax, there are people who had their mask down below their nose, and I'm like, did you say something? And they did say something, but to me, it's like so obvious you just say something, and yet I find myself in situations where people don't have their mask on fully, and like I can't. All of a sudden, I like don't have the balls to just say something. And in that situation again, I was like, I guess I'm just going to step on the scale instead of saying patient declines. And then I do this thing where I'm like, it's just information. Like, it's just information. Why? But I know that it's information that like makes my brain go bonkers. So I may as well just decline it if I don't know. Anyway, I know I'm all over the place. I
imagine it's a data point that they're looking at,
Yeah, I know. But if the doctor came out.
There are times when they need it and times when they absolutely don't.
Right.
Like, they actually do need it for surgery because of the anesthesia. They need to weigh you right before because that is like calibrated to your weight.
Right.
It actually has to do with your weight. You go back 2 weeks later and you're not doing anything. Like, you're not trying to get pregnant. You're not doing anything like germane to it, and they weighed you 2 weeks before, you can say no. Yeah. Like, right. You can, if you're going in for like a broken toe or something, you can say no. Like,
I think you can pretty much always say no, and I mean politely, and then if they really need it, then they can say, oh, we need it because of XYZ. But I just was surprised at how meek I got.
I just read about there's like some dinner that they have at Buckingham Palace. I think it's like a Christmas dinner, and
they weigh you.
The tradition is they weigh you before you go in, and then they weigh you at the end because they want you to have gained like 3 pounds, which means that you've enjoyed yourself.
Right.
Are they serving like an especially salty broth?
Yeah, I don't know. It goes back to Henry VII or something like that.
Was this a TikTok you watched?
It isn't. Probably.
Listen, I want to tell you guys about Masterclass. You've probably heard of Masterclass. I had heard about Masterclass and was always like, I really want to explore this. But then I didn't until very recently. And now I am so into it. I was learning about writing earlier today from Judy Blume. And I can't wait. And there's also comedy from Steve Martin. There's learning about cooking
everything.
from Gordon Ramsay. I know. And this Judy Blume told this story about handling negative reviews. She got this one negative review on, like, just one, on a book that was very personal to her. And she almost threw her, this is back in the days of typewriters, walked her typewriter to a canyon in New Mexico and like held it aloft over the canyon and was going to just drop it. She was going to throw it all away. And she actually got choked up telling this story. And then this voice in her head was like, how silly. Are you going to stop writing because of one person's opinion? And then she ran into, I'm giving it all away. She ran into that woman later, and that woman apologized and said she'd been having a bad day that day.
The voice in her head?
No, the negative review, Daniel. Daniel, you need to take multiple master classes. You're not following anything I'm saying.
I want you to take the interior design one. I want us to take that together. That looks really good.
I know it does. With Masterclass, you can learn from the world's best minds anytime, anywhere, and at your own pace with over 100 classes from a range of world-class instructors. That thing you've always wanted to do, or that thing that your husband has always wanted you to do, namely be better at interior design, apparently is closer than you think. This holiday, give one annual membership and get one free. Go to masterclass.com/bestfriend today. That's masterclass.com/bestfriend. Terms apply. And that it's so cinematic. They're shot so well. It's so great. I also want to tell you guys about Feels. Feels is a better way to feel better. Feels is a premium CBD that will help to keep your head clear and feel your best. It's hassle-free, delivered directly to your door. CBD naturally helps reduce stress, anxiety, pain, and sleeplessness. There's no hangover or addiction. And it helps so much with just feeling relaxed and with especially with insomnia. Place a few drops of Feels under your tongue and feel the difference within minutes. Thing to remember about CBD is that finding your right dose is important. Everyone's dose is different. Feels offers a free CBD hotline to help guide your personal experience so that you find your perfect dose. The Feels customer service team is dedicated to making sure you get the best use of your CBD. Joining the Feels monthly membership makes your self-care easy. You'll save money on every order and you can pause or cancel anytime. Start feeling better with Feels. Become a member today by going to feels.com/Alison and you'll get 50% off your first order with free shipping. That's Feels, FEALS.com/Alison to become a member and get 50% automatically taken off your first order with free shipping. Feels.com/Alison. Okay, Daniel, have you noticed that our son has become a very low talker? And Wendy, have you ever had this happen with your kids? Because he will tell mommy,
Yeah.
and then it's like at that register, I think he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah, he does. He gets real quiet, especially in the car. And
Oh my God.
I can't hear you.
Yeah.
How old?
He's 4. And he gets car sick. So we have this thing in the car called a Noggle. They're not a sponsor, but I do recommend the Noggle. It's like this tube that attaches to the air conditioning in front and then goes to the back. So the air conditioning so he holds it, it blows air on him. So he talks quietly. The air conditioning's loud. I'm sitting in the front seat. I cannot hear him at all. And I turn around and I crane so hard to try to hear him. But yeah, we got a low talker of a kid. Wendy, have your kids ever pulled this stunt?
I wish they would speak quietly for even a moment. Even just one moment of like, I would like a waffle, and said, Mom, like that. That's what I get. I just blew out the mic.
Maybe it's just
loud.
Maybe
they're loud. They're loud children.
No, that's what I'm hearing. I think we need to put him around them and then sort of like a balanced pack, like in the Cesar Millan way.
Mm-hmm.
Either he'll rub off on them or vice versa. By the way, I get this. Like, I doubt Cesar Millan offers a class in what we were just talking about because he's like, the other dog trainers don't like him. That's the scuttlebutt. I don't know if you know this.
There's a lot of controversy.
I didn't.
Yeah.
How'd you hear about that?
Oh, I heard about it from a dog trainer.
I
feel like
is it a jealousy thing? Do you think?
That's what I was going to ask.
No, I mean, maybe that's part of it, but I think he's thought of kind of in the dog, and I can't speak for all dog trainers, but I think he's thought of as a bit of a fraud. And also this is what if I remember correctly, like his techniques maybe are good for super aggressive dogs, like all the like that sort of like prod, like using your hands as a correction and stuff. But then people who are untrained turn around and do this on their dogs that don't need that kind of handling when really they should be using positive reinforcement. Again, I'm just relaying bits of what I remember from my dog trainer friend. So
it seems like just like almost like parenting things where there's just a million different like methods maybe.
Yes. That's
and also,
absolutely true.
I think the other thing was like the show is deceptive.
Yeah.
It makes it look like he came in and he did this couple things and they're fully trained, and leaving out the fact that he like exhausts the dog
with the pickle
and
vest.
gets them so tired, and then they're like well behaved, but of course they just he was on roller skates, running them around the neighborhood until they were well behaved.
Daniel,
I bet every show that involves animals is fraudulent to a certain extent.
Yes.
Or children. Like Super Nanny, I was like, we don't know that those kids changed.
So true.
They just took a bunch of footage and then stuck it all together.
Yeah.
And just like every reality show has either large portions or even small portions that are kind of fudged. They don't show you everything. I know.
Well, like even on this podcast today, Sarah has been relentlessly screaming and running her chainsaw, and you guys are probably going to cut that out, but we can't get her to stop.
Yeah.
If I keep doing it, they can't cut out all of it.
No, Sarah, we just wish that you would. It's like I've been on this podcast before. It's usually like a more chill vibe than running a chainsaw and screaming.
Well, I thought everybody here wanted to get to know me, the real me. So I have to do me.
Yeah, I
as
guess.
I often
fine.
say.
I guess Tony can decide whether he wants to leave a bunch of the chainsaw in or cut it out or what.
Well, thankfully, I did just buy some chainsaw removing software.
Oh, good.
Oh,
What
wow.
fortuitous timing.
Yeah.
Tony was Was that just coincidence? Was there like a
Total
year-end sale on
coincidence.
it?
Yeah, I got a good deal on it. It was too good to pass up. You got to jump on those things.
Well, because a lot of celebrities love to do that, bring their chainsaw in and stuff. So probably on your other show that you do, Alison, where you interview.
Both on Childish and Upworthy. It's just like, is my co-host the chainsaw? That's what I have been jokingly saying. And I'm hoping that they'll read into that. I mean, it's really passive aggressive actually when I think about it. With my other host a chainsaw joke? That's not even a joke, I should probably just be more direct.
Yeah.
But
I mean, and just in my defense, my only goal is to become a celebrity, and I've heard that that's like a thing that they do. So, fake it till you make it.
Well, this is the thing, Sarah. You already are, a well-known actress, and so it's not surprising to me that this kind of tude has migrated over here to this show because she puts a famous face on, and of course she's going to bring her chainsaw.
Yeah.
That's just what happens.
I genuinely joined TikTok today, so I'm just working it from every angle that I can,
Oh, wow. You really did?
I really did. I don't know why. I have no idea why. I was really muscled into it by some friends this weekend for absolutely no reason. I'm probably never going to post anything and delete it within days.
Are your friends with the Chinese government?
Yes. Close, so don't say anything bad about them.
Because she has TikTok now, so it could be listening. I only, in the last handful of months, got onto TikTok. Or, yes, I guess that's the correct terminology. And I find it very entertaining and enjoyable and creative and all the things that people said about it. I don't make TikToks, but I do like to watch them. Although, not as much. There was a period where it was like I had discovered a new show that I loved. I don't feel that way about it anymore. But
I felt instantly angry at it because when you sign up, it has all these little categories and you click like, oh, I'm interested in art. I'm interested in recipes, whatever. But then so you fill all that out, you're in the thing, and then they're like, swipe up and start watching TikToks. So I did. And it was like, somebody being mean to their grandmother in a very staged way.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, none of them were any.
But you shouldn't have
anything-
clicked on elder abuse as an interest. That's why.
True.
It's true.
That's a great point.
Have we moved away from the chainsaw bit? Because I did have a follow-up question.
Oh, great.
Okay. So, Sarah, you've been on a ton. You've been in tons of shows. You've been Kaminsky Method, Louis.
I didn't even mention that one.
But she was so good. I had to mention it.
Thank you.
Wait.
Don't let him ruin it for us.
Yeah. What was the other? What was in the intro? What was the other one you mentioned, Danielle?
Big Little Lies.
Big Little Lies as one of the moms. And in each of these roles, the chainsaw has been part of it. Yep. Did they reach out to you because they wanted someone who was familiar with the chainsaw, or was that something that you brought to each role?
That's a great question. I mean, they specifically asked me to stop doing it on some of them, so I don't think that's why they brought me in there. Isn't that weird?
So weird.
And then there are tons of jobs that I had that you haven't seen because I got fired from them.
What?
For using a chainsaw, yeah.
They always say, like, when they say action, you start up the chainsaw.
Right.
Like for the sound department.
Yeah.
I like
You
to
want
go
that
on
chainsaw
rolling
going.
just so I'm sure that they don't miss any of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Well, they say in acting class, like, have a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
They
pick
say that all the time in acting class.
Yeah, be the chainsaw person.
Have
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah.
So-
So how did you guys meet, Sarah and Wendy?
Sarah and I. Did we meet when it was a baby shower for someone who was going to have a baby and then suddenly went into labor early? And then you and I were on the same, for Dana, you and I were on the same group chat, weren't we?
It's I should have prefaced everything I ever said to anyone as saying that I have a terrible memory, because I do. But I thought we just met at Dana's house at Henry's birthday party.
That's also possible, but it might be that we had chatted like on a Facebook group
that's
with
so
like Bridget,
interesting.
maybe like the year before.
I mean, I don't have any recollection of Dana's baby shower at the moment, but I
No, I mean, it
definitely would've been
wasn't a
there.
baby shower. It's that there was going to be one. And then
it
she
just
went
never
into labor
happened.
early.
Yes.
And
that I
Bridget
remember.
messaged a few of us to say, here's some things Dana needs. We should get together people to buy them for her or something. And we did that. I think that's the first time I had ever been in contact with you. Was Bridget said, here's what's going on with Dana. We should all like get her some things or something, because she had had the
totally
baby
forgot about that.
3 months early or something
way
crazy
early.
like that. So
Yeah.
I
It
think
is
that's the
really
first time
early.
we chatted, but then I met you in person later. But this could also be an absolutely false memory.
No, I mean that sounds very right. I just forgot about it. And I think I do think I had seen you perform, because whenever we did finally meet, I'm pretty sure I'd seen you at IO and thought you were
Possible.
really, really funny.
And I think I had probably seen you like on Louis or something like that, right?
Maybe.
That would have been
I don't
before we
remember.
met, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
what year that was, but I think before we
either.
met. So I was familiar with you, I think. But but and then our husbands fell in love, and that really also,
Yes.
they're bonded with a real bond, those two.
We
like
went-
all the
we
same
went in
thing.
Pretty aggressive though. I feel like
Yeah.
like Wendy and I met, and then I know what happened too is, well, first of all, I like contacted her about like a Bob's Burgers things. Not like, can I be on Bob's Burgers? Which, I also did do that later. Not really.
I don't think you asked. I
No,
think
I
we
didn't. No, I
we
didn't
asked
really.
Sarah to be on Bob's Burgers.
Um,
Listen to that voice. That's an animation voice right
Yeah.
there.
I don't know why. I don't know.
Yep, that was it. That was your audition. I remember. That was actually just a sample of your audition.
Yeah. But I feel like we like really went after Jeff and Wendog, as I call her, because we're close, pretty hard. But then what also solidified it was we were at a party at a person's house, and neither of us knew really, there was like a lot of fancy, famous people there, and we didn't really know anybody there. And
Correct.
so we were like, these are people we know. And so then, and I think Lizzie might have been there too. And then we all, like, we stayed together the whole party,
Yes.
as you do.
So we became friends out of desperation and
Yeah.
loneliness. Desperation and loneliness.
Yeah.
Some of the best friendships are forged that way. I feel like that was like a name redacted, right? Like there was a celeb's name whose party this was, but you didn't say it.
Yeah. But I don't know if I don't know. It's not like it's not like there's a reason to redact it, I guess. But
Meryl Streep.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
I wish.
I wish.
Nicole
imagine?
Kidman.
She's my
Also-
best friend.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
we
a
are
Nicole
very
Kidman?
close, but no.
David Faustino.
David Faustino. All three are correct. It was a progressive party, but from Meryl Streep's house to David Faustino's house. Those
Yeah,
were the
sadly,
first.
he got the entree, which was rough. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
What was
He would
it?
have done better off in the app
Fettuccine.
course.
He did a fettuccine.
Yeah.
That was real glommy.
Yes.
It was really glommy. And then we went on to the third person. Oh, Nicole Kidman's house. And hers was all Australian foods, like crocodile steak,
Bloomin' onions.
Kookaburra pie.
yeah. And Russell Crowe is just holding court, as you can imagine. He tap dances. So he was doing he did an hour-long tap dance that everyone was raving about.
Wow.
Except David Faustino felt really upstaged by all of this. First his pasta didn't go
Understandably.
well. And then we're all at Nicole Kidman's just living it up, you know?
With Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Like a surprise.
That was the progressive party we went to. Apps at Meryl Streep's house, main dish at David Faustino's. Because, David Faustino, Meryl Streep, and Nicole Kidman are all really
Tight.
good friends.
So
They're
tight.
I think,
besties.
yeah.
They're
They
like
were-
kind of like a Sex in the City situation. those
They
three.
were on a show together called Bee Buds, like short for Best Buddies.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
But they also sold weed. This was in the 80s, but they also sold weed. So it was like bee buds,
Yeah.
like their best friends who are also selling drugs
It was really
out
cute.
of the tree house. It was a really cute show. Yeah. There was
Yeah.
like and they had a
It was
little
for kids?
yes, it was a
Mhm.
kids marijuana.
It was for
show.
cool kids,
Which,
kids
like in
that
the
like
80s,
smoking
you
pot.
could do a kids marijuana show.
Hell
There was
yeah.
several of them.
And they sold it
Yeah.
out of a treehouse?
Yeah, they had a tree house.
Like you had
where
to
they
climb
sold weed.
up the treehouse to.
Yeah, well, there was a little thing you would lower down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like a dumbwaiter.
Yeah, and anyone could come by and put a little money in it. And there'd be a lot of guest stars that would come by and, on the tree, and the thing would lower, and then they put the money in, and then Meryl would bring it up, and
Yeah.
David Faustino would put the joints in there and lower it back down.
Mhm. I remember that.
Yeah.
And Nicole Kidman was like always high. That was like her bit, so like she would be like, "What's happening?"
Yeah.
And like,
But like
kind
Australian.
Mhm.
yeah, what's happening?
Oh, crikey.
Oh, cookie.
You know how
Another
people.
day, another dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
the
So it was a good show
the odd
for the
good.
time.
the odd couple duo of like Martha Stewart Snoop. I feel that is pretty derivative of Meryl David Faustino.
Mhm.
Oh, for sure.
They invented that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were the original Odd Couple.
Yeah,
The original Odd Couple was based on them. The original play,
that's
Yeah.
The
right.
Odd Couple,
Mm-hmm.
was also based on them. Like so much of pop culture people don't recognize.
Mhm.
It's like how every saying is Shakespearean. It's like so much of
Yes.
comedy is based on bee buds.
But then it doesn't
So much
get
of
the
modern
respect.
comedy. Nobody
It's
talks about it. People are like, "Oh, it's like
Yeah.
Pee-wee's Playhouse." It's like, what about bee buds? Everyone
Well,
forgot
no one-
about Meryl Streep,
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman, and
No
David
one believes
Faustino in
it.
the house.
No one believes it because, of course, The Odd Couple was written before Bee Buds, but people don't understand that. Yeah, they don't understand. Go ahead.
Right. They don't understand that part of bee buds and the lore is that David Faustino came up with a working time machine.
Yeah.
And there's an episode where you actually see them disappear, and people think that's like, oh, some kind of effect, but
Mhm.
it's not. I mean, people were there on set that day. They genuinely disappeared, and they went back to the 1930s and met.
Wow.
They met Neil Simon,
This is true.
and they lived in the 30s for about 4 to 5 years. But then when they zapped back, they came right back to 1986, of course, like in that way that you do. You can be in the past for a long time.
Right. Yeah.
And then when you come back, it's not like the same amount of time has passed. So
As
they
everyone
were with
understands
Neil
that.
Simon. They lived across the hall from Neil Simon and his wife, Marsha. And they were the original odd couple because Nicole didn't go. It was just Meryl and David who went. Nicole stayed.
Why?
But for her, only a few hours passed because the time machine could only fit 2 people, Alice.
Is this
Duh.
is this boring to people because everyone knows it already?
No, that's the
I
thing.
think
might be.
probably. Yeah.
No, I don't see maybe, but I feel like they don't know it. I feel like they don't know it. That's the point.
They don't really.
It's
And
like
they don't play it anymore because it was the whole soundtrack was the Rolling Stones, so it's too expensive.
Right. So you can't play it. You can't even find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because it's like baked in, so you can't separate out the music tracks. This was before they would, have it on like different stems or whatever.
Right.
It's
It was
all baked
just-
into the episode.
did they have like a boombox on set and they just
They had a boombox on set.
Play it.
Correct.
That's
You
how
nailed
they
it.
Were
used
you
to do
on
soundtrack.
set for this? For a lot of the recording of this, Wendy? Were you there on set?
I was, as a child, briefly, my parents let Nicole Kidman adopt me
Oh.
from when I was
Never come
8 till 12.
With one of those
They
temporary
let
adoptions.
Nicole Kidman. Well, she got tired of it. So honestly, she initiated the adopt back process.
That's why you have such a good Australian accent
Yeah.
though, right?
And that's why sometimes,
Yeah.
like in August, Wendy will be like, "Oh, are we about to leave? Gotta grab my coat. It's winter." And I'm like, "What?"
Because I lived in
and
Australia,
it's just
where
like an
B-Buds was
Australian-
shot.
Mhm.
Yeah, B-Buds was shot in Australia, and Meryl and
Yeah.
David moved down there because that was where he could work on his time machine unregulated. Like the U.S. has a lot of regulations about whether you can work on
Yes,
a time machine.
so much
but
red
in
tape.
Australia, anything goes.
Yeah.
That's their national saying. Anything goes.
That's so good. Your
Yeah.
accent is still so strong.
I think
It's
it goes.
really strong. Yeah, I know.
I can say one
I can-
word in an Australian accent. Do you
Oh my god,
I
is
know.
this
oh,
is gonna
wait, Allison does the same thing.
I can say
Oh my
one
What if
word.
it's the
No.
same word?
But she can't say it as
Mine's-
the catch.
Allison's is
Allison's. She
terrible.
can't really
It's not
say
Australian though,
Well,
right? Wasn't it?
We
South
decided
African. South
Yeah.
African.
Oh.
South African. Yeah,
It's not South Africa.
Safe.
it. Oh.
Don't I seem like Laura Logan for a second? Safe. Anyway, sorry,
No.
Sarah.
Like who?
Laura Logan. Do you know who that is? She was a
don't know.
newscaster.
She used to
She-
be on 60 Minutes, and now she's like a
Oh.
right wing
She-
Fox.
That's what I was going to say. Isn't that some kind of Nazi?
Now she is, but she
Now.
wasn't. And then this is actually not something to joke about, but she was reporting a story and she got groped and violated, and now she's
I don't
gone
think
off the deep end.
They groped her into becoming a right winger.
I don't know. I know, but
I don't
this
think-
is what those are the.
Oh,
Do you remember?
I remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway,
she's a Nazi.
pretty much, and now she's. But don't I
Oh,
sound
boy.
like her before or after?
Yeah,
Safe.
it was just like she was here. Okay, but I want to hear Sarah's
Me
one
too.
word.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Zir.
Huh?
Zir.
What is that? Oh,
It's
like zoo?
obviously zoo in Australia.
Oh,
Zero.
I thought it might have been.
There.
I
Zero.
watched this zoo show that takes place in Australia, and they're like, "Come on down to the zoo."
I think that's so
In
good.
context, it works a little better.
Yeah,
when
but
you
see, I
said
don't
it, it
have
sounded
the-
like you're.
I don't have
Saying
the other
sure.
words in the accent yet, so
You
I
did.
just
That was
have
pretty
to,
good.
Yeah.
That
I
sounded
just
pretty
have
good.
to land you with zoo.
Come on down to the zoo. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Zoo.
Wait, Wendy, you can do all the other words though.
No, I
Oh,
can't.
that would be great.
Let's.
Yeah, because you lived in Australia for 4 years.
Yeah, and
All
you
right.
were.
No, I
your
mean,
mom.
yes, I can. Is what I meant.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Come on down to the.
Zoo.
Perfect. Together we make one perfect Australian
tell
who's
ya.
going to the zoo.
People in Australia right now understood exactly what you were saying.
And here I'm a South African who's lost. Which way is safe?
No, they don't say that.
I
Because you
know.
know, whenever you're lost, you want to know which way is south.
Safe.
That's what you ask.
They
You don't say
don't
like,
say
"Where's
safe."
my hotel?" or "Do you know where this?"
This
Read
whole
it.
time I thought you were saying safe. That's how good your accent is.
I know. Yeah. So I was pretty sure I was nailing it on that one word. And then I listened to, so I watched some YouTube videos. It was not like how to have a South African accent. It was just South Africans talking. And they don't say safe. But in my mind, they do. They say south, actually. But
Fascinating.
Like just exactly like we do.
Almost exactly the same.
pretty much. But it's got a real safe vibe. Okay.
Saith it sounds more like Australian to me.
Oh my
than
gosh.
South
Listen.
African.
Well, then that's what I do.
Yeah, just change the country. You got it made.
Safe. Zer.
Yeah, Saith. Saith.
Zer. Listen. After this, though, I need to hear more Sarah Baker fun facts. But given that we're talking about traveling all around the world, I want to tell you guys about Little Passports. There's nothing better than watching your child's imagination in action as they unlock new ways of seeing the world. Little Passports offers award-winning play-based kits. I love a kit that fuel curiosity through fun hands-on activities. They'll love the feeling of discovery almost as much as you'll love watching them explore. So Elliot just opened up a Little Passports kit yesterday. It's a little suitcase, and inside it has a map, and it has little like cardboard dolls. It has stickers. He's already decorated the outside of the.
So many things to do, and it has like little fishing poles.
Oh yeah, fishing poles
shapes made out of wood, and it's really well made. And it's like it had a little suitcase for him to carry around.
Yeah, it's so cute. Yes, the little fishing pole had a crab and a starfish, and Owen loved that part. They both love it though. Whether you're exploring the science of optical illusions or art in Spain, your child will love the feeling of discovering something new every month with Little Passports subscription. With super fun kits designed for curious kids, it's the perfect gift for the little adventures in your life. Here are just a few of the subscriptions you'll find. So for kids 3 to 5, the Early Explorers Kit ignites their imagination. For 5 to 8, there's the Science Junior Kit. For kids 6 through 10, the World Edition Kit. Those are just a few of the examples. This holiday, give the young explorer in your life a world of adventure. Get 20% off any subscription with promo code Alison at littlepassports.com. Order by December 20th for Christmas delivery, free shipping included. That's littlepassports.com, promo code Alison. Listen, guys. Pack your bags for the trip of a lifetime in the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, streaming only on Peacock. This new original exclusive is the Real Housewives crossover that fans have been asking for, Daniel. Finally, you can see 7 iconic housewives from 4 different cities together in one place, including Cynthia Bailey and Kenya Moore from Atlanta, Kyle Richards from Beverly Hills, Teresa Giudice and Melissa Gorga from New Jersey, and Ramona Singer and Luann from New York City. With a crew like that, what could possibly go wrong? As any Real Housewives fan knows, the girls' trips are legendary. Watch these housewives enter into uncharted territory as they vacation poolside in their stunning Turks and Caicos villa. This trip will not disappoint. See this exclusive crossover event now and watch new episodes every Thursday. Plus, stream more of your reality favorites on Peacock, including all past seasons of The Real Housewives, hit movies and shows, exclusive originals, live sports, news, and more. Go to peacocktv.com to sign up. And lastly, here's something that I know that Jeff has and that Wendy likes.
God, if they did.
Stance. Stance makes gift giving super simple this holiday season. Stance's premium line of socks, apparel, and more always come correct with colorful constructions, innovative materials, and choice fits that are built to last. Throw in an all-star curation of A-list collaborators, and those lucky recipients on your holiday nice list have never had it so good. Check out stance.com for all the latest, including several different subscription options that are sure to keep your friends and family feeling great all year round. They have super cool collaborations. Harry Potter, Batman, The Goonies, maybe Bee Buds. I don't know if they have Bee Buds items yet. Disney. Oh my, I know. Pixar. Their socks are so super duper comfortable. Just today I was wearing their combed cotton, like no-show ladies socks. They have super cool and super comfortable t-shirts. They're so great. Stance has the perfect gift for every punk and poet on your list. Go see for yourself. It's easy. Just head on over to stance.com and pick out some styles you think they might like. Enjoy the color and comfort of a life less ordinary. Excuse me, with Stance. Okay. I think it's time for a Sarah Baker fun fact, courtesy of Sarah or Wendy.
Hey.
What's it going to be?
Wait, can I have some parameters? 'Cause- what?
I was gonna say I'm gonna let you tell your own story.
Oh.
You know,
Like, what's a category of a fact?
Something about your childhood.
I was just thinking about this the other day because my friend Laura Benanti was performing at Wolf Trap, and I had to brag to her that I performed at Wolf Trap when I was little.
What is Wolf Trap?
Oh, yeah. Details. It's a venue in like the DC area, like an outdoor, like little concert-y venue. But it's been there for 1,000,000 years. And I performed there as part of the International Children's Festival with
It's very fun.
Bob from Sesame Street.
What?
Ooh.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How? A lot of follow-up questions.
Yeah.
How
I get
was
it.
Bob? So have you been performing since you were a child?
No, this was totally just like I took dance class, and I don't even know now what the connection was, but somehow or another, and it wasn't like it was not like a professional. It could not have been less professional. It was like a totally ordinary kids dance class, but for some reason or another, they got hooked into this show, or they needed, maybe they just wanted like local area kids. That must have been because there was like dancers from Gallaudet, which is also in the area, though it's a college. But yeah, so I don't know how we got involved in this thing. I've also mentioned I think that I have a terrible memory. I don't know if I've mentioned it because I have a terrible memory. No, but yeah, and so I don't know how we got involved. And it wasn't like it was like a little group dance with a bunch of kids and
Bob.
But it was Bob. Yeah, he was like the MC.
Was he
How
nice?
exciting.
He was super nice. I mean, I didn't like. It's not like I got any one-on-one time with Bob, which is probably right. I was a child, but yeah, he was very nice to all the kids, and I mean, he was definitely like putting on a show. So, I think he was like he was trying to make it good, but he was friendly to everybody, and he was talking about because Gallaudet performed, and it's like a a university for people with hearing differences, and so he like told a story about, or he sang it ain't easy being green, and then kind of connected it to Gallaudet and got like very like teary and stuff. So it was very sweet.
Tony, I think I know what I just heard.
That's a fun fact.
Oh,
Wonderful.
wow.
And we need one more. Something that tells us a little bit. Well, I mean, that did, but I'm trying to give you some parameters. It can really be anything. If you've been attacked by an animal at the zoo,
Wow.
do you have, are you afraid of anything crazy? Have you,
Just normal things. Lots of them.
really, it
Wendy,
could be anything.
Can you think of anything fun about me, Wendy?
I'm very bad when I get put on the spot.
That's how I feel.
I don't know.
That's a fun fact.
What's,
Oh, that is a
I'm
fun
trying
fact.
to think.
We're both improvisers who don't like being put on the spot.
I could make something up.
We'll take that. I have to tell you, I was thinking ahead of time. I should just tell you, muse on some fun facts. Normally I do, but then I'm like, I don't want to like get in the middle of your workday and.
What workday, by the way? That's a fun fact. I don't have a workday.
Okay.
That's a fun fact.
I feel like we've gotten a lot of fun facts. I still would like to hear what Wendy had in mind.
I lived in a I did think of this earlier when we were talking about traveling. I did live in Nigeria for
Ooh.
a short period of time.
Tony,
That's a fun fact.
Yeah.
how was it and why?
My dad, it was when I was in college, and my dad was he worked, I grew up in the DC area in the suburbs, and my dad always worked for the government. He worked for like the Department of Agriculture for a while, State Department for a while. And my brother and I were going to be in college at the same time. So, that's a lot of money. And so this budget officer job came up in the Foreign Service. So, and I guess my parents were like up for the adventure of it or whatever. So my dad took this job in Nigeria, and actually my mom was able to teach there too. She was a teacher. She taught special ed here, but there she just taught like 4-year-olds.
Were they low talkers?
Not that I don't remember ever hearing her talk about quiet 4-year-olds.
But you have a bad memory, so.
That's true. It's possible. Yeah, so it was mostly just when I was like on breaks from school, I would go to Nigeria. And I did get to work one summer in like their visa department, the consular department, like just looking up people because they had files to like check if people had applied before and stuff like that. So
Cool.
yeah, it was, it was crazy. It's a wholly different place than anywhere I'd ever been before, much less lived. I mean, you're pretty sheltered there. Like, we lived on like, I would imagine it's similar to like if you're in the military, like not a base exactly, but you would live on these compounds with like, maybe there'd only be like 8 houses or something, but it wasn't like I got to just like be in Africa, exploring
Right.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But it was cool. It was very different.
That's neat.
And it was a
That's
good
a
time.
fun fact.
It was a good time in life to be exposed to like totally different stuff, I think, because I was like 19,
Yeah. I've never been to Africa. I've never, like, Wendy traveled abroad. I did not.
Did.
I did not go to Nepal.
Yes, true. You didn't. I would have seen you there if we were on the same program. Wow. What if I found out you were there, but you'd have waited?
I know. I do feel like if I did it right, I could have gone there and avoided you if I really planned it out ahead of time. But I don't know why I would.
You could have easily. I mean, to say you couldn't go to a whole other country and avoid one person, I think anyone could do that.
Yes, however, and this is sort of a just me or everyone, as someone who didn't study abroad, all I ever heard of were stories of like, yeah, I was, studying abroad in Scotland, but we went to we went to Spain, and I ran it, like everyone always ran into each other in every country somehow.
Well, I've told you guys my incredibly unlikely run into someone in England story, right?
No, but
I haven't?
I don't think is not ringing a bell. But I just want to say before you even start, this just proves how right I am.
No, I know. I'm about to prove your point.
I love you for that.
About to prove your point. And I feel like I have told this story before. So at any point you make a loud, Tony, I bet you have a loud buzzing sound.
Yes.
At any point anyone raises their hand, I feel like just give me the X and I'll stop the story, and your poor listeners won't have to listen to the story they've heard before.
Now I'm torn because I love sound effects, so I want to hear a buzz, but I want to hear the story too. Question.
Okay.
Before we start, Daniel, Tony, do you feel like you've heard this story before?
I don't think so. I don't think that I have. Maybe she told it before my time.
Oh, maybe.
I'm usually not listening to this show. So
Yeah. And least of all me.
yeah.
Daniel's only interested in me if I'm in my ghillie suit, fucking rising up out of the lawn for a fair. That's the only way I can get his attention.
Wait, if you could get into a ghillie suit, I've been
That's
trying to
the
get
whole
Alison to wear a
thing.
ghillie suit.
What's a ghillie
Daniel,
suit?
that's what I've been talking about the whole time. I told her last week.
Ghillie
whatever,
from Saturday Night
last
Live.
month. You don't know what a ghillie suit makes you look like the grass or the leaves or the bushes.
Okay. I've been trying to get
Never heard
Allison
that.
to dress like Ghillie from.
Is this
Saturday
like a
Night Live.
hunting thing?
Oh, that's different. That's different.
Is it a hunting
Yeah, it's like the Marines. The Marines will
Is
wear
that called
it.
a ghillie suit?
Like,
Do they? So they
yeah, it's a
do they
ghillie
shoot someone and then pop up and go sorry?
Yeah. Yes, it's
Sorry.
a combination.
Daniel actually loved it. I feel like, and I love Kristen Wiig, but Gilly was not my favorite, but Daniel does have a thing for Gilly.
I love
Then
Ghillie.
yeah.
I don't
maybe
mind
that's so you
Gilly.
can win him back.
Ghillie is is one of those sketches I shouldn't like.
That's a great like couple's Halloween costume. Is one of you wears like a ghillie suit, like the military version, and one of you dresses like Ghillie from Saturday Night Live.
I like that a lot. Okay, so let's hear the story that we may have heard before, but I don't think so.
It's still hard for me to believe that this happened. Is that when we were going to go, Lizzie, my youngest sister, who's now my writing partner, was studying abroad in England. She was in college. We decided to go. It was like our first really, truly big trip that Jeff and I had taken together. I had a sense that he was probably going to propose to me on this trip, which he then in fact did. And the entire time before we left, I kept saying, you know, if I meet Hugh Grant, though, I'm going to leave with him. I'm going to be with him if I meet or see Hugh Grant for like months, a year. Over and over, I said, if I see Hugh Grant, I'm just out of there. Like, that's it. Probably the third night we were there in London, we went to a restaurant. It had Star in the name, and it was an Indian food restaurant. And we picked it. It was on something, you know, like a guide or whatever, but it wasn't particularly, I don't think it was particularly like of the moment or anything like that. We were sitting in the front of the restaurant. We ate our dinner. We were almost done. And out of the back of the restaurant, fucking Jemima Khan, who he was dating at the time, comes out first. And I was like, that's Jemima Khan. And then right behind her, Hugh Grant.
Whoa.
Like out of all, like, how do you find, like for a year or two have joked about seeing Hugh Grant in London, which the odds are so slim. We did not go anywhere on purpose to see him. We did not court it. It was a random restaurant that we were at where he walked out from the back. And I was like, what the fuck? Like I literally to this day cannot believe that actually happened.
Now, did you stand up and follow him?
So unlikely. I did not. I didn't think he was.
You really called your bluff.
But don't you think that's bizarre?
That's
Yes,
crazy.
it
crazy.
It is
Crazy.
But this seems to be what happens for everyone abroad. I've been abroad.
Always find the person that they're
just
looking for.
Weird,
a celebrity.
it was October. It was Carnival, and I ran into the girl I went to camp with. It was Oktoberfest, and I ran it. I don't know.
I like predicted it.
Yeah.
I said it out
This is
loud
more than
so
that,
many
yeah.
times.
I know,
He's
but
a
it's just under the
famous
category.
person.
And what
Shouldn't
I
be
know,
in just like a regular restaurant.
yeah,
Fans
That
of
is
the
If we'd
crazy.
gone to like a fancy hotel and he'd been there,
Yeah.
that I get. If we'd even gone to see a play
Mhm.
mm-hmm.
and he was at that play,
No, this
that
was
kind
just
of makes sense. Why was he like? That's what makes me feel like we're living in a simulation.
Well,
It really freaks me out. I don't like.
Fans of the universe would say that you put it into the universe.
I know, but that's some
And then the
Oprah
universe
shit,
made
right?
it.
I don't think I believe in any of that.
Don't
I've
get
had
the-
a few of
know.
those
Don't-
types of moments also.
Really?
Yeah.
with Hugh Grant.
All
I
Hugh
did.
Grant
I did see
based?
Hugh Grant in person once.
What's your Hugh Grant story?
It was very brief, but it was when Motion City was in New York making one of our records. It was when we were working with Adam Schlesinger,
Mhm.
and he had just, I think it was still working on, or had just, no, I guess they were still working on that movie. It didn't do well, but music and lyrics.
Oh, I
that
saw
had
that.
Hugh Grant
Mhm.
and Drew
Yes.
Barrymore, I think.
Yes,
Is that
Sure.
not great.
And they sang their own songs in it, and Adam worked on the music in that. And there was a point I was in the lounge upstairs at the studio and heard an English voice downstairs, and then I looked outside as I heard the door open again, and I saw him get.
Say-
You
up
heard
and
some.
leave.
You heard some schluffing.
Yeah,
Schluffing. What is that?
Doesn't he schluff? Doesn't he? I feel like he schluffs a lot.
Like
I don't know,
shuffle?
I said yeah, like I knew what that meant,
don't
but
say
I didn't
shuffle.
know.
It's
Don't
like
say the word shuffle.
Do you need your problematic whistle that Daniel mentioned at the top?
Yeah.
Um,
Sarah, it's a whole story. Allison thinks that I want to see her do fancy shuffling, and I don't.
nobody
Ooh.
does.
I just want to do fancy shuffling.
I feel like, honey, you could learn it if this is really your dream.
I've
and you're
tried.
not,
I've
so
tried.
I think you're full
Here
of
we
it.
are again.
No. You're saved, Wendy, by the fact that Daniel said a word that I don't know what it means. What's schluffing?
Schluffing.
What does
That's
that
what he
Yeah,
does.
I know. That's what I said.
What does it mean? Are you talking about a type of walking or a type of talking?
It's all of it.
What?
It's a whole.
What are
It's
you
a whole
talking
thing.
about? Sarah,
It's an
have you ever,
attitude.
Tony,
No,
have
no,
any
no,
of you
no.
heard this? No one knows.
We're just supposed to understand what schluffing is.
Mm-hmm.
It's what Hugh Grant.
It's the thing that he does. He schluffs.
Oh, like humps. Also made up.
He's just schluffy.
Like the way he's all like cute and rumpled.
Yeah.
And twink. He kind of like glints a little bit.
Yeah.
Twinkly.
Yeah.
Wendy, I have
Maybe you guys aren't familiar with him as well as I am.
I have it bad for Hugh Grant. Did you also, or do you also?
Yes.
And how did he look?
He's the British bad boy. I think he looked fine. I was honestly so shocked that I feel like I didn't take it in properly. Like in my mind, he had a white dress shirt on. Possibly not, though. Possibly not. Who knows what he was wearing? I was so stunned by the development. My adrenal system was going absolutely bonkers. And in my mind, I was like, did Jeff arrange this somehow? But he didn't. It was literally in like a guide or a map or something that said this was a good restaurant. And we had looked at it and we were near it and we went into it. Like there was no planning. There was nothing.
Was Jeff stunned as well?
Very stunned.
Was he scared?
Yes. He was not scared
of losing
I don't think he thought that Hugh Grant was going to ditch Jemima Khan for me.
And who's I've heard this name, but who is Jemima Khan?
Who is that?
Is she a model?
She is yes, I think she's a beautiful
Was
woman.
she on Real World?
No, that's Jacinda.
Oh.
Who went out with Chris Hardwick?
Yes.
She's now Jemima Goldsmith, it looks like, and she's a writer now, and she's a consultant on The Crown. I'm Googling her for everyone to find out about Jemima Khan, Hugh Grant, but they were together. Did Jemima Khan go out with Hugh Grant? Yes. When did they split? I don't know.
What if it was that night?
They were together.
Yeah.
What if they split up that night?
Oh my God.
And he didn't know why, but he felt like something was wrong because he'd seen you.
Yeah. That's probably what it was. It's like there was a little like glitch in the matrix.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
So you didn't actually meet.
They split up in 2007 and we were there in 2006, I think, or 2005. No, we were there in 2005.
So it took a minute, but
years. Yeah, it took a while for him to realize like he was haunted by my memory.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Really weird, right?
Yes. I've heard that he's not that nice a guy.
Oh, I'm sure not, right?
Anyone here have more personal experience? What did you think when you heard him schluff, Tony?
I didn't hear nearly enough. It was a very like last second thing where I like heard the voice as he was leaving and saw him get in the car. That was about it. So
got it.
Yeah.
Wendy, you just recently had an interaction with Patti LuPone, right?
Mm-hmm.
I saw Patti LuPone one time. Oh yeah, she was on your show, right?
Yeah, she was super nice. I was really intimidated to get to record with her, and I was like picturing like she's a legend. Like she could be really mean to me, and I wouldn't even care. I'd be like, yes, kick me. But she was great. She was super nice.
I've been listening to Evita a lot, so
yeah,
Patti LuPone's on my mind.
I'm obsessed with her. Yeah,
I was like attending a Broadway show, and she was there, and I was like, this is too perfect that she would be here. But it was a show that now I'm confused, but it was a show that my friend was in, but I can't remember what show it was. But whatever it was, I went backstage, which obviously I would not normally, but I think it was because my friend was in the show, and so I saw her like backstage. But again, what am I going to do? And I felt like even if I was just like, I love you, I think you're wonderful, you just feel like she could be really mean, and so I didn't want to ruin the moment for myself, so I just didn't say anything.
She gets that all
or
the time.
just like a regular person where she just like is not in the mood to talk to someone or something. Like sure, like you never know.
No,
like I'm sure Hugh Grant is fine, but like to expect anyone to be like super like nice to everyone all the time is like a wild expectation anyway. I guess so. Like
I don't know what I've heard
I just don't want to like carry that with me. If it's somebody I really like, then I'm always like, I have to only meet them under the right perfect circumstances, or else I could ruin it for myself.
Yeah.
I had a therapist in New York who saw Larry David somewhere and went up and told him how much she liked him. And she was telling me this story, and she was saying like, he looked like he didn't want to be talked to, but
David?
What? What'd you say?
I mean, of all the people, he's the one I would say for sure would not want to talk to you.
Right. But she's like, I just had to because I love his show so much. But I don't know. It was weird that it was my therapist because I was like, but you read his body language. Like you knew. It's interesting.
And literally Larry David, if anything, I would think you would go up to Larry David hoping to have a Larry David experience. Which would be
hoping
him
to tell him to leave you alone.
Yeah, exactly. Like that would be it.
Right. I think he was nice, but maybe hurried.
Oh yeah, could I share my weird summoning story real quick?
Yes, please.
It's different, but you'll see. It's very strange. So, in like 2000, when I was in my old band, the band was called Submerge, and we played a show in Fort Wayne, Indiana, just this really small, like punk club, crappy venue thing. And we played with the band No Use for a Name. We played the show, never really, whatever, moved on, never really thought about it again. And cut to like 4 or 5 years later when I'm on tour with Motion City, we are playing somewhere in Florida. I forget what city it was, but as we're driving to the venue, for some reason there was something about where we were that reminded me of that area in Fort Wayne that day. And I even turned to our bass player who was in both bands with me and I said, you remember that show we played in Fort Wayne with No Use for a Name, blah, blah. It's like, doesn't this like remind you of that? And he was like, yeah, it kind of does. I hadn't really thought about that in a while. We play the show that night. After we're done, a guy comes up to me and he goes, hey, you were in Submerge, right? And I said, yeah. He goes, I played with you years ago. I played in a band called No Use for a Name.
So weird.
That's so weird when that happens.
Yeah, so weird.
It was really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a little different, but yeah, equally strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is really, really weird. Because what are the fucking chances?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like my really good impression of a South African person saying South. Mm-hmm. I hadn't thought of it for ages. And then Daniel and I were just talking about it the other day, and then it came up on this show.
I feel like I've heard about nothing else for like a year.
Like that.
Like every day for like a year.
Did you like those shoes that I posted a photo of on Twitter and tagged you in of their shoes with like the playing cards in the what is that part of the shoe called? The front of the shoe? In the front. I think
front of the shoe.
I think cobblers refer to it as it's something like front. Okay.
Yeah.
We need to say hello and welcome and thank you to some new patrons.
Alison wants to say thank you to a couple of special people out there who signed up to be new patrons. Patreon.com/AlisonRosen.
Hello and welcome, Daniel Schweitz. He has increased his pledge. Hello and welcome to Grant Erickson. And hello and welcome to Ren Beach. Wendy, do you feel a song? Do you feel musical?
Wait, I need the names and you have to put them in chat.
I'll do it. Okay, here we go.
Sarah, I usually sing a song for the new patrons.
Oh, that's
if you want
beautiful.
to join in, it's usually very beautiful and moving. Hold on, I'm going to click on the
have some
chat.
tissues
I didn't
ready.
see anything.
It's not there yet because autocorrect is fucking me.
Okay.
I mean, Ren Beach is a fantastic name.
Isn't
Daniel
it?
Schweitz or Schweitz, do you think?
Oh, it's whatever you feel best serves your composition.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I have it today. Because last time, remember I crashed and burned? I made Tony take the song out. I mean, I really lost it.
But no.
Really
No,
lost
you've
it.
perfectly now set yourself up to do a great song because you
Yeah.
really underplayed it.
Yeah.
I feel like empty of all inspiration.
That's when you
At
might
all. Like,
do your
I can't
best
even
work.
start because I don't even know what I'm doing. Like I can't even remember how or why we do this bit. What do? I thank them.
Yeah, you just start singing a song and you tell
us facts
generally-
about them.
I mean, generally there's like
to say thank you to Ren Beach, who found a way to be a patron, even though she's so busy inventing beaches. She's the inventor of beaches, and yet she found time to give. And then there's Grant Erickson, Who invented boys named Eric? Boys around the world who have standard short brown hair. Every Eric you know has short brown hair. And he sort of likes sports, and he only likes regular food. Don't make him an adventurous dinner. And then there's Daniel Schweitz. He invented Schweitz. Schweitz is a product that you can buy. And what it is, you'll be surprised. It's not what you think. It is a special hat for fish. If you have a fish and it needs a hat, you can go on Schweitz.com and buy it. Schweitz, which is a hat for a fish, and you wouldn't think fish needs hats, but there are certain fish who are self-conscious about their foreheads, and those fish appreciate Daniel Schweitz for understanding and knowing them in a way that others don't. So if you see a dolphin wash up on one of the beaches invented by Ren Beach, and it has a hat on, you're thanking Daniel Schweitz.
Wow.
End of song.
Oh my
End of song.
God, Wendy. I feel like that
Beautiful.
it was stirring.
Yeah.
I
To
went
me,
on
it felt
a journey.
patriotic.
Yeah, I was thinking it should be our
Yes.
new national
Patriotic.
anthem.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be probably the new national anthem. I don't want to get ahead of myself, though.
Love to sing that at a baseball game or
Mhm.
on Monday morning in assembly at
Yeah,
school.
We probably all should have stood up and took our hats off.
I mean,
Yeah.
except for
Well,
the fish.
Yeah.
True. Yes.
Unless you're self-conscious.
That was so
Your
good.
forehead. So,
You have outdone yourself.
I resign.
No.
I resign
I'm sorry.
from this podcast.
Now, see, a little thing that you don't know.
Let's stop the podcast and go get some cocaine.
There's no resigning from this
Yeah,
podcast.
that's me. My drop.
Yeah.
The only good thing I've ever done. My only source of pride in this world.
That was crazy because you were taking a drink, and I was like, "Did my
How's she talking?
What,
Talking?
how did that happen?"
That's
It
my
looked like
new
a
skill.
trick.
I could throw my voice. Here we go, Tony. Do it again. Let's stop the podcast and go get some cocaine.
There's a little gurgle in your voice, so
Wow.
it almost sounds like you're saying it while
Yeah.
drinking.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's
That is.
not gloss over this. The thing about this podcast is you cannot resign. If you ever do something
Oh,
funny,
right.
you have to do it over and over again, and no one resigns.
Right. Okay. That's fair. That's fine. At least you have a code, you know? A man has to have a code, and you
Yeah.
have a code.
You think
That's
I want to
right.
do intros?
Oh my God.
You think that's something that I want to do
He's been doing that. How many years has it been now? It's been since 2015.
every week for years? This is hell.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I'll jokingly be like, "Do you not want to write him anymore?" And he's like, "I don't." I'm like, "Okay." So
It's
anyway,
not.
here's the guests for tonight. Boy, we are almost out of time. You know, let's do just me or everyone real fast.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
Okay. While they pull up over here, which seems to be taking a little while, I will remind everyone, if you like what you're hearing, please leave us a nice comment on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show. It helps people find the show. It helps the algorithm. And it makes me happy to read them. So thank you so much for your nice comments. And while it just scrolls endlessly, I will share my own just me or everyone. I had the weirdest experience the other day. It was in the middle of the day and I was napping, but I wasn't asleep. And it was like, I feel like a cap came off, like a bunch of memories, and I was able, and it was a bunch of memories from college, Wendy. I was able, but I was able to like walk into the memories and kind of look around and remember how a bunch of stuff felt. And it was so crystal clear. It was so weird. Has anyone had that experience of like all of a sudden a whole batch of memories from a time of your life becomes so vivid and you're like, oh, I guess they were there all along. I just haven't accessed them in 20 years or something. It was so bizarre.
That's really cool.
It was neat. I know the way I'm describing it almost makes it sound like lucid dreaming, and it wasn't like that exactly, but it was like it was like looking at photographs from a time of life that was a long time ago.
Did you go to the coop?
I went to the coop. Yeah, I used my
dream?
I used my coop bucks.
I did just like while you were saying that, I was like, oh yeah, those French fries at the coop that were like long and thick and square. And every once in a while you went and had lunch at the coop and it was like expensive.
Yes.
It cost like $5 or something. And we were like, can we afford this? We would go to the coop.
Right. I didn't go to the coop, but I did go to Frary in my awake lucid memory thing.
Sure.
I went to Frary and I remembered the milk dispensers and the salad bar.
Oh yeah.
And remember the milk dispensers? It was like this like weighted
It had a tube.
Yeah.
Right?
But the lever was like this weighted metal thing.
Yeah.
And the coffee that was like, have they ever made coffee here? Because this is just brown water. And the cereal dispensers too. It was a lot of dispensers in my dream.
Yeah.
I mean, my awake thing. Okay, let's see if these pulled up. Oh my God, what is happening? Oh, here we go. Okay. Here we go. A foot related Just Me or Everyone. So Just Me or Everyone is a segment where people write in with things they think or do, and they wonder, is it just me? Is it everyone? We weigh in. If you want to send yours in at ARIYNBF on Twitter, use the hashtag JMOE for Just Me or Everyone. Okay. Demian says, Just Me or Everyone. All my toenails do not grow at the same rate. I think that's everyone.
Seems like it.
Yeah,
I feel like
probably.
my regular fingernails are like that, but I don't know that I've noticed that with my toenails. I feel like my toenails are pretty synced up.
I feel like my toenails grow very slowly.
They
That's
grow
got to be
slower
everyone.
than your fingernails.
Yeah. Why is that though? It's not like we're dogs and they're getting like ground down on the sidewalk or something.
Maybe they're further from your heart,
I mean, they are.
so the blood supply doesn't get
That
there
works
as
for
fast.
me.
I don't
That
know.
sounds right. That sounds like it's got to be right.
I don't even know because as I've discussed before, I'm a gross monster who doesn't take care of myself. So like I only notice my toenails when they've become like long lady fingernails. And I'm like, okay, these have to go.
I'm kind of the same way, admittedly. Yeah.
I'm gross. I'm a gross.
See, I like to polish
monster.
my toenails. I feel like my fingernails, which everybody can see, are way more disgusting. But my toenails, I like to like put color on for fun. Not that I'm great or anything, but
What position do you do it in? Like, are you standing up with your foot on a ledge? Are you sitting down? How do
I'm
you do it?
sitting down. I think I'm like sitting on my couch. I guess maybe for parts of it, I might put it like on the coffee table
Mm-hmm.
and do a little like that action. But mostly, I think I'm sitting like not Indian style. Most of the time, I
Crisscross
think I'm sitting-
applesauce?
Yeah,
Crisscross
like
applesauce.
cross-legged, and I just like do it like that.
I think
They're
I
not
would
great, and that's probably why I don't have a great method.
if I tried to do it sitting cross-legged, I feel like I would get nail polish everywhere. Maybe I'll try though. I also think I feel like I've heard of people doing it like on your back with your foot in the air on the bed. Again, I would
Absolutely
also
not.
nail polish
I
would
don't
rain down
do
on
any
me.
of this stuff.
that's
What's
crazy.
gonna happen? Yeah.
I have I did it. So I used to get pedicures, and then during lockdown, a fun misanthropic game that I played with myself was like, how long can I grow out my toenails? And then I think I discussed that recently because I was going to go to the pool you, me, and Dave, and our kids
Mhm.
at your house. I decided
Mm-hmm.
to do a little bit of grooming, but it's been some time. I think I should, anyway. Okay. Lauren K says, when I smack and kill a mosquito, say on my arm or hand, and I see blood, I wonder whose blood it might be. Like if my neighbor is outside too, what if it's a little of their blood? Gross. I find it especially gross when I smack a bug and see blood.
But I assume it's mine because they're on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would assume.
I don't always assume that because sometimes I'll see one like on the wall and I'll hit it, but it probably was mine or that of someone I love.
I just go like this. Go ahead. Like when a mosquito's on me.
Really?
Just
That's nice.
Let it no, I don't. It's like how low my self-esteem is. I'm just like, go ahead, it's fine. Just have it. It's good.
Okay. And Lauren K also says the delay for turning the sound on or off on Instagram messes me up every time. I just somehow I don't know that it's the delay, but I always am trying to turn the sound on or off and it's like not registering.
Well, now it'll do that thing where it'll pop into Reels
Yes.
or something. And so you think you're turning it off and it just
opens
gets
it
bigger.
onto your whole screen. I know.
Yeah. And then I hate that.
Me too.
Wendy Wright, another Wendy, says, really dislike overuse of text reactions. It's annoying to have to open up a text to reduce my notifications just to see that someone liked a text. Wouldn't be as bad if it didn't create a notification. Is this just an iPhone thing? Hashtag just mirror everyone. Well, I think that there's probably a setting where you can disable that.
I like them actually.
I find them to be. I used to be very anti emoticon back when they were just emoticons as opposed to emojis. But I find all that to be nice and personable and cute.
Well, they're
and
talking
whatnot.
about the reactions though, not the emojis.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm just saying all the symbols on a phone. I'm fine with all of it.
I'm kind of torn.
I've never gotten a text, so I would love to get
Oh.
one. If any of you guys want to text me ever, like I'm just really open to making friends, you know.
Oh, Wendy,
So if
there's
any
a
of
whole
you guys want to text me, like, hey, what's up? How are you doing?
This is where
Something like
I think
that. Love it.
everybody, just like everybody's pretty busy. So
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's why I assume I haven't got
Yeah.
any texts at all, even though I'm just waiting, you know,
Yeah.
like to get one on my phone.
And you say, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" That's what you're looking for. I just want to remember.
Yeah, just
this.
something like
Okay.
that. Like, hey, what's up? Or like,
she doesn't actually
even
know
just
what's
like a
normally
funny-
in text because she's
Right.
never.
no,
gotten
but that
one.
was my guess. Or like a funny, like, I think it's a GIF. Like I think there's like a Garfield one that some people have gotten, or like somebody like eating a bunch of popcorn, like, oh, what's going to happen next? Like if I got that one, I just feel like that'd be pretty exciting for me.
Okay. All right.
Love to get one.
What about? I think
Hit me
there's.
up.
I've heard of one like Tony's favorite. It has Denzel in it.
Ugh,
Mm.
the most overused thing on the internet.
It's that one, right?
Yep.
Where you like
Yep.
gets relieved, relieves Denzel.
Yeah, he starts
Yep.
laughing. Yeah,
And it's almost always that someone is trending on Twitter, and
Yes.
then they check to make sure
Yes.
they're not dead,
Yep.
and then they put that up
You
as
can't
a
not see that GIF if you click on that person's name.
yes, totally.
but some of those, you know, the classics are classics for a reason. I'm not saying the Denzel one specifically, but like the bird that's like I'm always, I always have cause to use that.
Oh, I love gifts.
Yeah.
I love them very much.
too.
I have to use fewer. I'm like a grandma who just fell in love with something on the internet
too.
and loves to put them up.
I love them too. I have a question though before we go. This is Tech Talk. Because I don't use them all the time. And when I go to look for one, I'm always just like scrolling and scrolling. Is there some place that do you put them somewhere if you like them and use them frequently? Or do you just go to the same repository of gifts that I do where you're just like scrolling, looking for one you like?
I just do the one that's available on your text bar,
Yeah.
the red
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I just use
So
that.
it's not like people have them saved somewhere or something. I'm the
I
grandma
think
now.
some people probably do.
Yeah.
I do. There's
I feel like
there's
if-
an app I can show it to you that I have where I have a few that I like that I'll put in there.
All
I
right.
feel like if you used
Great.
it recently too, it'll just kind of be
Yeah.
toward the top, like no matter what.
Maybe, yeah. That sounds about right. Like with emojis. All right, you guys. I'm old. This has been so much fun. Thank you so much for coming on, everyone. Let's see. I already asked you guys to leave us nice comments. Thank you for that. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you listen to podcasts so that you so you don't miss an episode. Follow me on social media at Alison Rose on Twitter and Instagram. Sarah, would you like to plug anything? Tell them where they can find you, etc.
I guess you can watch the Kaminsky Method on Netflix. Or sometimes I'm a voice on these really great shows called Bob's Burgers and The Great North and Central Park, actually.
Love that.
Yeah.
And are you on social media? Do you want people to follow you?
Sure, you can if you want. but don't feel pressured, guys. I am Sarah Baker, but I always forget which is which, but I'm Bara Saker on Instagram or Twitter, and Bara Sakers on Instagram or Twitter, because Sarah Baker's an incredibly common name.
Everyone will find you if they want. No pressure. Wendy, what about you?
I'm at Wendy Molyneux on Twitter. I'm at Great North Wendy on Instagram, and I never post there because it's public facing Instagram, which terrifies me and I don't like it. And what else? Yes, please watch The Great North. There are many, over 20, I think, episodes now available on Twitter. I mean, on Hulu. Jesus, what's wrong with me? On Hulu. You can binge watch the show now on Hulu, and maybe you'll like it. It's kind of new, but get into it. Watch a few. Do
it, you guys. It has
watch a few, and then you'll know.
It has friend of the show, Paul Rust. It has friend of
Nick
Offerman. Come on. Megan Mullally, right?
Yeah.
Megan Mullally, Jenny Slate, Alanis Morissette, Dulce Salone, Aparna Nancherla. Lots of wonderful guest stars. I think I said all the mains, but I feel like I'm forgetting someone.
Will Forte.
Oh, yeah, Will Forte. Yeah. Will Forte. So yeah, and then Bob, still writing on Bob's Burgers, and have a podcast with fellow Alison Rosen appearing person David Huntsberger called These Are Those Tapes, which you can find wherever. It's just a silly improv podcast that you can check out. And I think that's it for me. That's all. That's all I have.
I feel like that was
more than enough.
I wish there was less.
Did you want to give everyone
I know.
Did you want to give everybody your phone number so you could get some text?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly almost want to. I wonder what would happen. But I feel like they're like, what if there's one wild person out there who's like, I fucking hate you, bitch. And then that's all I'll think about forever.
Yeah.
So, maybe not.
Seems like a terrible idea.
I'm going to set up some kind of like I bet there's some way you can set up a number for people to text.
Yeah, that's what the famous people are doing now. That's what Amy
Yeah.
Schumer did. Zoe Deschanel, I think, did.
That's what my Patreon, you know, where I say on Patreon, there's a level where you can text me and I'll text you back. That's what that is. I have a number like that.
Well, and
famous
it's not
people
like I'm
do
famous
to it.
or anyone. It's not like I'm famous or anyone would care, but like there have been times when I get the crazy right wing people are like, "I'm going to come shoot you," and I'm just like, "Okay, cool." And if one of them like got serious about it, I wouldn't want them to have my phone number.
No.
I don't think you need to justify not giving your phone number out at the end of the show.
I told you I have low self-esteem. I tell the mosquito, go ahead. That would be my version of telling the mosquito to go ahead.
Daniel, what about you?
Well, I am finally serious about the Amazon list thing.
Yes.
What do you call that, Alison?
Oh yeah, well, so I'm an Amazon influencer, and I have lists put together of items that I like and that I recommend. Go peruse them, and go to Amazon.com/shop/Alison Rosen, Amazon.com/shop/Alison Rosen. It's an easy way to see cool things and also support the show without costing any extra.
I have decided that it's probably useful for the gals out there who don't know what to get their guys. I'm putting, by the time this episode drops.
Oh my God, that's a lot of pressure on yourself.
I know. There's going to be some stuff, and I'm going to keep adding to it. Stuff that I like, that if you have a weird guy in your life like me, might give you some ideas. Because I am constantly looking for ideas, so it would be useful for me. So maybe it'll be useful for you. And fun.
Thank you, Daniel.
So go there and follow me at Daniel Quantz at Twitter and Instagram if you want to get bummed out.
And Tony, what about you?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at
Tony Thaxton.
And my podcast, Bizarre Albums, every Tuesday. And if you're listening to this on Thursday, the day it comes out, I will be playing drums tonight with Don't Stop or We'll Die for a live stream.
Yeah.
On Twitch. It'll be at 8:30 Pacific. But yeah, I'll be posting links on.
There's a new album coming out, right?
What's up?
There's a new album coming out, right?
Yeah, another collection of songs from our Song a Week podcast that we do. So yeah, it's going to be a collection of those. But yeah, live stream this Thursday. What is that, the 19th? Yeah.
The 18th.
18th. Sure. There we go.
Oh yeah, and listen to my Jodie Sweetin episode, which dropped on Monday. You guys, thank you so much. It's so much fun. Listeners, thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen Show? We had a good time, but now we gotta go. best